1979 دکتر ویکتور ساریانیدی و یک گروه از باستانشناسان افغان گنجینه از طلای باختری باستانی را کشف کردند که ارزش آن میلیون‌ها دلار آمریکاست. با رسیدن مرزهای مناطق جنگی به حریم تیلیا تپه و افزایش احتمال تجاوز شوروی، ساریانیدی و گروهش مجبور می‌شوند حفاری را بدون محافظت ترک گویند.
I have no doubt whatsoever that there were at least 3 or 4 more burials. There were at least 10 total. We definitely left some gold in the ground. We barely scratched the 7th burial. We were out of money and time, and we ourselves were exhausted. The conditions were just too terrible, and so we left.
ساریانیدی مقبره هفتم را نیمه کاره رها می‌کند و به سرعت راهی کابل می‌شود تا طلاها را تحویل دهد.
They had to move whatever they had, and they took it to the Kabul Museum.
اگر به طعنه به آنچه در پیش روس بنگریم، این روس‌ها هستند که گنجینه افغانستان را برای امروز حفظ کردند.
We spent 2 weeks handing over this gold to the Afghan officials in the Kabul Museum. Everything had to be counted, which included over 20,000 pieces, tiny pieces. We counted and counted so much that I could no longer look at this gold. One inspector told me that one little bag of gold was missing. I nearly had a heart attack. What do you mean missing? We brought everything. Eventually everything was found, and the mistake was due to the fact that it was such a large quantity of gold.
گروه تصمیم میگیرد تا بهار آینده صبر کنند تا حفاری را در تیلیا تپه از سر بگیرند.
They had been able to only work in detailed excavation of a number of the tombs. So there was a lot remaining.
هرچند هنگامی که طلای باختری کشف شد، احتمالاً نفرین مشهور است که مانع از بازگشت ساریانیدی به تپه طلایی می شود. 1979 سالی که طلای باختری کشف شد، ابتدای 23 سال جنگ.
In the last week of December, the Soviet Union invades Afghanistan, and the Soviet Union claimed the right to be able to intervene in any communist country in the world if requested to in order to save them from counter-revolutionary forces.
موضع اتحاد جماهیر شوروی دفاع از رژیم کمونیست افغانستان است.
If the communist regime collapsed in Afghanistan, then there was this impression that Islam would come across the border into Central Asia. So Brezhnev decided to invade Afghanistan.
The Soviets intervened massively. They were able to very rapidly capture all the cities.
We had a Soviet army of 110,000 wreaking havoc on our country. From 1979 to 1989, they killed over 2 million people in this country. And in the process, all that was taking place in the way of appreciation and understanding of our cultural heritage went all by the side.
2000 سال قبل اسکندر کبیر طلای باختری را غارت کرد و شدیداً مورد هجوم افغانها قرار گرفت. حال با کشف طلاها این مهاجمان روس هستند که در خطرند.
When we look, especially in this period of our modern history, at the wars waged in Afghanistan by Alexander, there are some startling and stunning similarities that we ought to be paying close attention to. In both cases, fairly modern, sophisticated armies which had been designed to conduct large-scale battles were suddenly faced with insurgent operations, guerrilla warfare. The warlords of the past are very much like the warlords of the present. We're talking about fighting under the same circumstances in terms of climate and terrain. We're talking about dealing with the same kinds of insurgent movements that are hard to pin down. We're talking about the fact that you need to bring warlords into your camp, but at the same time you have to be careful which warlords you can trust and which warlords you can't. Alexander faced the same kinds of problems.
یک بار دیگر فرماندهان جنگی منطقه با یکدیگر متحد می‌شوند تا دلاورانه در برابر تحمیل یک ابرقدرت بجنگند.
The Soviets controlled the major cities. They had no control over the countryside. The Russians would decide to invade the Panjshir Valley, the home of Shah Massoud, one of the great guerrilla leaders of all time. The Russians knew that this was a stronghold of the resistance. They would go in and invade with their conventional forces up the valley, and lo and behold, they would not find a single Afghan fighter. Once they had secured the area, they would turn around and withdraw. And as they withdrew, Afghans would appear from behind every rock. So by the time they had withdrawn, it was no longer an orderly withdrawal, but it would be a rout. That happened any number of times.
با شدت گرفتن جنگ، ویکتور ساریانیدی و تاریخدانان به دقت اخبار را دنبال می‌کردند به این امید که قسمت کشف نشده طلای باختری در تپه طلایی غارت نشده باشد.
Because of the situation, the Afghan soldiers jumped at the opportunity to dig up the 3 remaining sites at Tila Tepe. There are photographs from Sotheby's and Christie's. They both had pieces on sale that are identical to ours that could only have been found at our site.
مجاهدین شکست خورده از هر وسیله‌ای برای تأمین منابع مالی لازم برای ادامه نبردشان علیه شوروی استفاده می‌کنند.
Different countries decided that this was a place to give the Soviet Union a bloody nose. They began to provide aid to the Mujahideen, the United States, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, China. They began funneling aid through Pakistan, and with this aid, the Mujahideen eventually was able to stabilize the situation. Then finally in 1986, the Mujahideen started to get Stinger missiles. That changed everything. Once they had Stinger missiles, they were able to knock out Soviet helicopters. Without Soviet helicopters, the Russians did not have control over the skies of Afghanistan, and with such a huge country and few roads, they were unable to transport troops or supplies. Once that occurred, the Mujahideen started to win the war.
مجاهدین که به وسیله آمریکا تجهیز شده بودند توانستند در افغانستان صدمات فراوانی به شوروی وارد کنند. در 1986 میخائیل گورباچوف چاره‌ای جز عقب نشینی ندارد.
And by 1987, the Soviets made the decision to cut and run, and they withdrew from Afghanistan.
Then started the withdrawal of the Soviet regime, followed by the collapse of the Soviet-backed government.
1988 با خروج نیروهای شوروی از افغانستان بسیاری فکر می‌کردند که آنها طلای باختری را با خود قاچاق کردند.
The Soviets pulled out, and then the question is, where did the gold go?
People in Afghanistan were convinced that the Bakhtian gold had been stolen during the time of the communists in Afghanistan.
The Russian army is probably taken off and left with whatever gold that was there.
اما به طور حیرت انگیزی گنجینه‌ای که ساریانیدی در موزه ملی به امانت گذاشته بود هنوز آنجاست. طلاها از هجوم روسیه در امان ماندند، اما باید دید آیا در دوره بعدی تاریخ افغانستان نیز سالم میمانند یا نه.
Islamic resistance being a coalition of different groups, they tried to all come together in order to rule the country. But these coalitions were both based on ethnic backgrounds, ethnic differences, and religious differences, Sunni versus Shia. So as a result, they never were able to gel.
People had high hopes that the leaders of resistance would come and be able to bring stability. Instead, it brought civil war.
در 1992 گروه‌هایی که روزی با شوروی جنگیده بودند درگیر جنگی خونین با یکدیگر می‌شوند. سرنوشت طلای باختری با تصمیم گروه‌های درگیر جنگ برای حمله و غارت پایتخت به خطر می‌افتد.
Would all these magnificent things that had been excavated by Paul Bernard and Victor Sarianidi remain safe? Would they be somehow exported or spirited away to other countries? Would there ever be further archaeological excavations at impressive sites in Afghanistan?
جنگ در کابل شدت می‌گیرد و طلای باختری را در مسیر فاجعه قرار می‌دهد.
It's time for an optimized email environment. Augmented reality and navigation services with a large display. A full web browsing experience. E-reading solutions wherever and whenever you go. And a complete communication solution. Perfect in itself. More possibilities on the go. Samsung Galaxy Tab.
با یورش جنگ داخلی افغانستان سرنوشت یکی از با ارزش‌ترین گنجینه‌های دنیا هنوز نامعلوم است. بیش از 20,000 تکه از طلای باختری که توسط باستانشناسان روسی و افغان یافت شده در اختیار فرماندهان قرار دارد که سرسختانه به دنبال منابع مالی برای خرید اسلحه هستند.
Virtually everybody in Afghan society was convinced that the Bactrian gold had disappeared, never to be seen again.
The Soviet embassy was always trying to distance itself from this. They said, "You found this? Great. Now return it and let's be finished. It belongs to the Afghan people and the Afghan government. So let them do with it as they wish." I was always saying that it is not safe to leave the gold there in Afghanistan because of the political situation.
در حال حاضر هنوز طلای باختری در جایی که ویکتور ساریانیدی آن را در 1978 قرار داد، یعنی موزه ملی ایمن است.
The Afghan National Museum, which is located in the southwestern part of Kabul, was used as a battle station by various rebel factions. The museum suffered the most amount of destruction during the Civil War.
Over a period of time, it was looted by the regional warlord that held it, and every day he would go in and take Buddhist statues, Bactrian coins, you name it. He'd just walk in and take what he liked. There was nothing to stop him at all.
With this Bactrian gold specifically, there was rumor that it was sold in the black market for arms. And so archaeologists around the world were constantly watching whatever auction houses were coming up for any signs of the gold that may show up.
This news was shocking and lamenting in that it relayed that up to this point, Afghans were burying their sons and daughters. But today they have buried their culture and history.
It's common fact that anything of a historical interest in Afghanistan, people expect it to disappear.
با وجود هرج و مرج یک مرد این دوراندیشی را داشت که طلای باختری را به مکان امنی منتقل کند. رئیس جمهور پیشین افغانستان نجیب الله.
Najibullah, while respecting religion, was also very much secular. And as part of that secular attribute, he respected cultural relics. And he knew the character of his enemy, the guerrillas, the religious extremists. The ones that were still fighting were doing so because of monetary reasons. And he started taking certain precautions.
نجیب الله می‌دانست که ویرانی موزه نزدیک است. او تصمیم گرفت طلای باختری را به همراه 90 میلیون دلار شمش طلا طی اقدامی فوق سری جابجا کند.
They decided that it would be safer to put it at the vault of the central bank, which is probably the safest place.
گاف صندوق یک شاهکار مهندسی است که توسط یک شرکت آلمانی در دوره نادرشاه در دهه 1930 نصب شده است. نجیب الله برای تضمین امنیت ارزشمندترین گنجینه افغانستان 7 مقام عالی رتبه مورد اعتماد را فرا می‌خواند.
We had a lot of things from the excavation site at Telia Tepe, like the gold cloth worn by a princess, which was from top to bottom ornamented with treasures.
طلاها در 6 جعبه قرار داده می‌شوند و در محفظه داخلی سری یک گاف صندوق رسوب‌ناپذیر پنهان می‌شوند. گاف صندوق با یک در فولادی بسیار بزرگ که با 7 قفل بسته می‌شود محافظت می‌گردد. کلیدهای این 7 قفل به 7 مقام عالی رتبه خارجی که با جانشان از طلای باختری محافظت می‌کنند تحویل داده می‌شود. حتی در این محیط متشنج جای طلاها امن است و در دژی درون دژ دیگر قفل شده است.
No one would know who these particular key holders are. It's an incredible treasure, and if you can gain access to who these people are and find who their family is, it's just gold versus, their mother or their daughter or their son.
بدون داشتن هر 7 کلید نمیتوان قاف صندوق را باز کرد. مقامات عالی رتبه به محل خدمت خود باز میگردند، در حالی که هویتشان سری باقی میماند. در اختیار داشتن کلید هم مایه افتخار است، هم مسئولیتی است که جانشان را تهدید میکند.
They were spread out to different parts of the world intentionally to keep these things safe.
1994 طلای باختری ایمن است، اما یک گروه متعصب و تندرو در حال ورود به جنگند.
And then erupted the phenomenon of the Taliban and subsequent takeover of the country by the Al-Qaeda network.
These were not seminaries.